Kernan, yeah. I mean, but we've said for the whole way along, you know, it's hard to know what the penalty is going to be. Some weeks, I know it's going to be continue to be reviewed. We probably thought that it'd be 2 or 3 weeks, so came back as 2. So it's good for Sean. We're getting back in 3 weeks' time. Not so much if it's another team hitting one of our guys. We know that you go to the tribunal or with the match review panel, there's a process in place. We've obviously gone through the process and it's spat out 2 weeks, so that's what it is. I don't really like commenting on the tribunal. I'll comment on my team and what we're doing here, but I know there's times when I think there's some strange decisions and some times when they get it right, but in this case, it's our player. He gets 2 weeks. Let's just get on with footy, hey? Yeah, we haven't really got many fit key forwards, to be honest. Lewis Johnson played on the weekend for North. That was his first game back after about 8 weeks or 9 weeks, so he probably needs some more footy. But yeah, we've got some headaches, I guess, at match committee with how we pick the side this week. You know, we might have to shift some guys around and play a small forward line. Maybe we bring in some talls, you know, like another ruck. But that'll be a decision we make. We've still got Bernie Vince, obviously, with his concussion, with a 6-day turnaround, so that's another player we'll have to look at as well. We probably won't make a decision on him till maybe even Friday. Yeah, we have. It was disappointing for Sean because that's the best game I've seen him play for us in my time here. So I thought his aggression was good, but it wasn't controlled aggression. So there is a difference between that, and you know, no one likes seeing that in footy. And he just said it was. I mean, he didn't try and hurt the guy. It was just an undisciplined act, which he now regrets, and he's got to sit on the sidelines for 2 weeks. But I liked the aggression, but I didn't like the act.
Is that a positive? Sean's not one necessarily to throw his weight around. I'm sure you're not happy with the execution, but
Yep.
he got the intent from him.
Yeah, his aggression on the game was good. You know, he tackled and he chased, and his follow-up work was really good. But as I said, the stuff where you hit players high, I mean, that's not what we want from him. No, not so much. I don't think so. I mean, we miss him for 2 weeks. It's a critical time of the year for us, but I don't think that'll implicate any contract negotiations or any list management issues. I think he worked really hard to get back into the side. He's played 7 or 8 games this year. His form's been below what we expected from him, but I thought he turned the corner on the weekend. But the suspension does hurt him at this time of the year. Maybe, yeah, maybe. It depends a bit on Vince. Like I said, we've got a few sore guys from the weekend. I don't think Ian Callanan's going to come up either. He got a quad injury in the Centrals game, so we're going to really have to test our depth this week. But that's a good opportunity for us as well. You know, we're going to have to look at some young kids again, and we were very young on the weekend. I think we had 12 players under 50 games on the weekend, so we are already very young, but that's exciting for me. It's a good opportunity in a blockbuster game, you know, Friday night at the MCG, national TV audience, a very young team, backs against the wall. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, a little bit. I think so. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we'd love to play 2 rucks, but the way the game's played now, you know, the umpires just throw the ball up as soon as they get it now. The quicker kick-ins. The game is really aerobic now, and we've seen how important being fit and being able to run across the ground. So that's one area that Angus needs to get better at, and he's working really hard behind the scenes to ensure that we can trust him and he can run out 120 minutes of footy. Would like to play him just as the number 1 ruckman rather than play with him and Sauce, but that decision might not be mine to make this week. We might have to just play him. So it's one of those ones where we'll just look at the structure of the team, and we'll have a look at how Collingwood structure up as well.
Just on Anderson being able to go back and forward, seeing Carlisle and
Yep.
early at Essendon, Ben Regal at Collingwood last week. Is he your best option? Harry Taylor as well. Is he your best option as that from there?
Yeah, a little bit. We've talked a little bit. We've had some of our defenders have gone forward at different times this year when we've had injuries to forward. So Rutten, Talia and Otten can all play forward as well. When you look at Collingwood's forward line, they're very, apart from Cloak, they can be very small. So we might bring in a small defender and push one of our tools forward. So there are plenty of options. It's obviously early in the week still, but a Friday night game comes around pretty quick. So we'll have to be on our toes with how we structure up.
Where do you expect Reid to play?
Probably down back, but I know he's been really good forward for him as well. You know, it depends what happens with their selection too, where they think they need his strengths, but a bit might depend on how we structure up our team too.
So that position that's becoming pretty critical to an over result?
Yeah, it is too. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, Geelong have done it very well with how they've interchanged players from forward and back and upset the opposition. But yeah, we're just trying to still work out our best forward structure. We've had injuries again this week, and you know, McKernan's out, Aidan Riley's out for probably 6 months. So it's another week where we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and look for our best options forward. Yeah, he can. Yeah, we can bring in Hardigan and play him as a defender and push one of those tools forward. Or we could just play Hardigan forward. He played forward as a junior, but most of his footy in recent times has been as a back. So yeah, we'll try and get creative this week. We'll try and look for opportunities to give us a bit of a spark. But yeah, that's going to be the challenge, I guess, is replacing injured players and trying to get your best fit in your forward line, through your midfield and across half back.
I'm looking at how do you assess Swan and Pendlebury the way to
Oh, they've still got a great midfield. I mean, Swan's game the other night was just electric. You know, he's a very important player for them. When he's playing well, Collingwood are typically winning. And of course, Pendlebury's one of the best players in the competition. You know, his midfield run, he's a great decision maker, gets up and down the ground. We'll certainly put some time into him as well. So, yeah, they are. When they're working well together, yeah. I mean, when they're that sort of 1-2 punch in their midfield, they can certainly break the game right open. But we've got some good players too, you know, Dangerfield, Thompson, Sloane. We've got some opportunities to run some players through the midfield too, which will give them some headaches. Both equally, yeah. I mean, Swan gets more of the football, but Pendlebury probably can hurt you with less possessions. But they're both accumulators. They're both very dangerous players, very difficult to coach against. Both very smart players, so we'll put equal time into both of them. Yep. I think what we like here, our view as a football club, is that we'd like to see 2 goal umpires, maybe trialled first. It was brought in initially, I think, for the goal line decisions, but now it seems to be, I mean, the Talia one where Talia and Kennedy maybe touched the ball about 20 metres from goal, and now they're using that for, I mean, that's not goal line, that's an incident that was 20, 30 metres from the play. So probably we've just got to work out as an industry, do we want just the goal line, or like the ones that hit the post, or do we want decisions that are 30 metres from goal, or was it touched off the boot, 50 metres from goal? It's about getting the right decision. Yep, but I know you're saying, oh, I saw his finger come up. Well, was that the ball that hit his finger, or was that the player's foot that hit his finger, which made the finger go up? So how much do you want to focus right in on a play that was 40 metres from the actual goal line, So I know the one in the grand final, Tom Hawkins hits the post. That's an obvious hit the post. The goal umpire didn't see it. We didn't have the technology. So let's focus on the goal line technology first. And the ones where did his fingernail just brush the ball, hawk eye and hot spots and all that, maybe we're not quite ready for that, because sometimes I don't think they're black and white like we hope they would be. He said he thought it was touched. I think it's touched. He didn't know it was touched. He said, I think it might have been touched. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yep. I probably can't comment on it really. I'm not sure what's happening there this week. I've only heard the story like you guys this morning, and obviously feel for him. He's obviously going through a lot personally, and a footy club's made up of a lot of really good people, and I'm sure Collingwood have got the strength to be able to put that behind them and focus on Friday night. Yeah, I mean, it won't be discussed internally here with us anyway. Just about, Harry, yeah. This is just about it for us. We've had some opportunities where we could stay alive. We're still alive. We've still got a pulse. But our back's up against the wall, you know. We've got to go to Melbourne on a Friday night and beat a really good side. Sometimes that brings out the best in people, and hopefully that's the case for us this Friday night. Yeah, we've had plenty of challenges, you know, right from the first day of the off-season, you know. We've had plenty of challenges, and we've done our best to stay positive and keep fighting, and we've had some injuries this year which have hurt us. You know, last year I remember every week we came in here and I kept touching the table, you know, touch wood. We've been really lucky with injuries, and we had some great form in the SANFL and players didn't get a chance. But this year we played a lot of young kids and they've been fantastic. You know, one of the positives from the weekend was, you know, Laird, Brown, Smith. These guys are playing some really good footy for us, you know, Crouch. We've had a taste of a lot of young kids coming in and out of the side, but I do like what's long-term for us. And as I said before, we're still alive this year. We're not dead and buried yet, but we've just got to start winning some games of footy, you know. We threw one away on the weekend, which we shouldn't have lost. We've put that past us, and now all our focus is on Friday night. Yeah, some have. I mean, some have had some really good seasons, you know. Douglas, Dangerfield, Sloan, those sort of guys have been really consistent. I think Andy Otten's had a really good year. I think Ben Rutten's been fantastic for us most of the season. But probably that next tier, you know, we've had some inconsistencies of performance. So you'd like your good players contributing every week. We probably haven't had that for the majority of the season. I don't want to sound like I'm offering up excuses, though, because we put out a fit 22 every week and we haven't been good enough. You know, 6 and 8 is not going to cut it. Yeah, we've still got 8 games to go. As I said, we're still alive, we've still got a pulse, we'll keep fighting. Yeah, all we can do really is just keep practising it, to be honest. We keep practising tackling, we keep practising goal kicking. Gee, it was frustrating though. We missed some absolute sitters on the weekend, you know, ones that professional players shouldn't miss. But once again today, we're going to do goal kicking again today. It's a short week, so we won't do tackling, but we'll certainly do some of our tackling method. But the intent's there, the guys' desire's there, but the execution's not. And you're right, it's something we just have to keep practising. You know, it's not a magic wand where you put it over the players and say, now you're a great tackling side. We just have to keep practising and get better at it.
You mentioned with speaking to young guys on the weekend, a few more in the sample. Is that one thing that does completely close? Do you expect them to get called up?
Yes and no. We'll just pick our best 22 every week. So whether that's Ian Callanan, who's 30, or whether that's Mitch Grigg, who's 19, we'll still pick our best 22 right up until round 23. We're still playing a lot of kids at the moment. We can't really get much younger. You know, I'm going to reward players who are in form in the SANFL. We're going to have to make some changes again this week, so more guys will get opportunity. They've just got to try and grab it while they can. You know, in this industry with players out of contract and with free agency and trades, and with us trying to get back in, you know, earlier in the draft, players who come in have to play well, and that's the ruthless element of this industry, unfortunately. Yeah, scores in time on, yeah. 2 goals versus 8 on the weekend. West Coast were 3 points at about the 27-minute mark of the first quarter and then scored 4 in 3 minutes. That shouldn't happen, you know. We've been through that, we've reviewed that. As I said in the press conference post-game, they're just fundamental errors at critical times. And then obviously they score the last 3 goals of the game, you know. They score 3 goals in 5 minutes. That's mostly bad defence. That's bad defence. Yes and no. There's a leadership element to that, you know, to be able to show poise and composure at critical times. But yeah, there's a bit about the whole team's got to know that you shouldn't give up a 13-point lead with 5 minutes to go. You've got to be smarter, you know. Even when scores were level, when we were 6 points up, we couldn't even kick a point, you know, or lock the ball in our front half. So fundamentally they're defensive decisions which we didn't control well. So that's forwards, midfielders and defenders making poor defensive decisions. That's not the defenders, but yeah, ultimately we've all got to put our hand up in those situations. I think every team would like to be fitter, and we're one of those teams, but no, it's not an issue with fitness.
You mentioned before about getting early in the draft, getting in the draft.
Yep.
GWS has sort of flagged that they might be having a big one, come to say.
Pick one, yeah, for sure, but you have to give up something pretty good for pick one. I know I'm on record for saying we'll certainly try and be creative to try and get back into the first and second round if we can. But yeah, we're not going to be silly about it either. You know, we're not going to give up some of our A graders if that's the case. But there's ways that we'll try and do it, and you know, free agency is an option for us as well. They're probably their questions better asked to David Noble. At the moment, my focus is on Collingwood on Friday night. But yeah, we're certainly on record of trying to get back into the second round at least.
Sorry,
Oh, we have list management meetings once a month. Got another one next week, next Tuesday. We discuss all those sort of things, yeah. I mean, we sort of work together on that. I wouldn't say there's an untouchable list, no. Yeah, I'd like Adam Cooney, but I'd like a lot of other players too. You know, most clubs would. You know, he's a Brownlow medalist, he's a South Australian, he's a very good player. We'll talk about all the free agents. Sometimes that's all you do though. I mean, every club talks about a whole heap. I do like some of the guys coming out at the end of next year too. I've looked that far ahead. The 2014 free agents, there's some good names there too. There's some homework for you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, mate. Getting homework.